Okay, so here are the notes for arithmetic sequences. So a sequence is a function whose domain is the natural numbers. So 1, 2, 3, so those are the values we'd be plugging in. It has a common difference between consecutive terms, and that's known as the common difference. So there's two ways that these can be defined, recursively and explicitly. So in a recursively defined function, each term is defined relative to the terms that came before it. So the second number is something plus the first number. Same thing for the third to the second, vice versa. Now, an explicitly defined sequence, each term is just defined based on this position, the first number, the second number, the third number, etc. So here we've got the recursive definition. So an is just the term we're looking for, any term. We have to define what the first term is when n is 1, the first term. And then every term after that, so any term more than that, so an minus 1 means the previous term for n more than 1. So to get any number in the list, you take the previous term and you add some value to it. Now, it might end up being subtraction if d is negative. Explicit definition, any term is related to the first term plus the common difference times whatever n minus 1. So I'm looking for the third term, I plug 3 in for n. All right, so the first type of examples we have are just finding the common difference. The common difference is just what are you adding and subtracting to move from one number to the other. So to go from -2 to 1, from 1 to 4, in each of those cases, I am adding 3. So difference is 3. -16 to -3 to -10. Once again, I am adding 3. 14 to 8 to 2. In those cases, I am subtracting 6. 14, 10, 6. In those cases, I am subtracting 4. So those are common differences. Okay, so the explicit formula. So these are going to look like this. And then we will just need to plug in the values for A1 and for D. So A1 is the first term in the list, D is the common difference. So over here, our common difference would be we are adding 6. So the formula would be AN equals the first number in the list, 28, plus D times n minus 1. So down here, our common difference looks like it's 8. So plus 8, yeah. So the difference is 8. So any term is equal to the first term plus 8 times n minus 1. In this case, we are subtracting 5. So any term is equal to the first term minus 5 times n minus 1. And here we are subtracting 4 to go from one term to the next. So an equals, first term is 32, minus 4 times n minus 1. Just remember, that's the first term in each case, 28, 36, 25, 32. And the number in front of the parentheses is just what are you adding, in this case 6, or subtracting to get from one term to the next. Okay, so using the explicit formulas, we can find any term we want. So 86, if I wanted to, I could do 21, 15, 9, so I'm subtracting 6 each time. I could just keep subtracting 6 until I got to the 86th number of the list. However, it's faster if we use our formula. So in this case, our formula is going to be AN, first number, we're subtracting 6 each time, minus 1. Except I want the 86th term of the list. So what I do is I just take 21 minus 6 times 86 minus 1. And that can all go in my calculator, and I can solve it out. So let's see here. 21 minus 6 parentheses, whoops, I got an extra thing in there. 21 minus 6 parentheses, 86 minus 1. So negative 489. So the 86th term would be negative 489. And I just keep repeating that process. So for this one, AN is the first term. We are subtracting, looks like 18. If you're not sure how to find the common difference, if you take any term and subtract the one before it, so that becomes plus, that will give you the common difference. If it's harder to see, some of them are easy, some of them are hard. So minus 18 times n minus 1. But I want the 97th term, so that's actually written like this, A97. The little subscript becomes the 97. Negative 5 minus 18 times 97 minus 1. So we go to our calculator, negative 5 minus 18 times 97 minus 1. So the 97th term is negative 1,733. And our last guy here, so 5 minus -6 to find the common difference, that's 11. So any term is the first term plus 11 times n minus 1. I want the 70th term, so a with the 70 subscript, equals first term -6 plus the common difference times n minus, whoops, not n anymore though. That n is now 70. So -6 plus 11, parentheses, 70 minus 1. So that'd be 753. So instead of counting all 70 terms, you can just plug it in. Now, if you feel comfortable, you can do that stuff in the parentheses in your head. You could just make that 11 times 69, 18 times 96, 6 times 85. That's fine, but you can just type it all as is in your calculator. And that wraps up this section.